So I am an author, and so I'm always just kind of looking at other authors, and I'm looking to see, what are they doing. And I love Joel Osteen and Joyce Myers. And so I've been looking at what they're doing, and I don't have any idea what they're doing behind the scenes. But when I watched Joyce Meyer the other day, it just kind of gave me an idea. And I thought it was so interesting. If you don't know Joyce Myers, Google her. You can go to Amazon, you can go to her website. You can see that she produces a lot of content. She writes a lot of books, just like Joel Osteen, write a lot of books. And I'm thinking, okay, how in the world could she be producing this much content in a year? And it made me think about, if you just take each quarter, if you're producing content every single day online, if you're recording a video, if you're doing a blog post, whatever it is that you're doing every day, if you just start breaking up your content into quarters, and this is what we should be doing anyway, right? And then everything that you create in that quarter is on one topic. And maybe let's just say you write 1,000 words per day in that 90-day period. That gives you 90,000 words. And I even thought about this. You can actually go to 60 days. So if you produce 1,000 words every single day, that's in 60 days, 60,000 words of content. So if you do this, it's 6 books in a whole year. And so all it is you're already doing this, right? You're recording a video for YouTube every single day, for example. You're writing a blog post every single day on your blog. You're, everything that you're doing, you're selling a product around this topic over 60 days, or you're reading books about this topic. You're listening to podcasts about this topic. You're listening to YouTube videos about this topic. So for 60 days, you're writing a book on this topic. So, and then in a year, you've published 6 books on this. And we're talking about nonfiction, right? But if you lay this out in a year, you can have 6 books. And you could even do this for fiction, right? You could do the same thing for fiction. You could just lay it out, and maybe you have a book per quarter, 4 quarters. You have 4 books, 4 fiction books. Or you can do it, 60 days, have 6 nonfiction books. Or you can do it in a quarter, have 4 nonfiction books. But lay this out for yourself and see if there's something that you can do if you stay focused on one topic. So let's just say, for example, whatever your topic is, let's say weight loss. And then you divide weight loss into 60 days or 60 topics, or say 12 topics, and then you divide it up into, let's say, 4 subtopics per chapter, or 6 subtopics. But you got 12 chapters, and then you got, let's say 4 to 6 subtopics per chapter. And then you can kind of see how you can divide this up over 60 days. So 60 days, we got 8 weeks. So maybe you have 8 chapters. Maybe you have more. Maybe you have, you have at least 8 chapters. But you can even get it to 12 chapters. You can just kind of, go back and look at and see what 60 days in 12 would be. But then you could just every single week write a chapter. You can every 3 days or 4 days you write a chapter. But this is a way that you can produce a lot of books in a shorter period of time. And this is not like to make your life stressful. That's not what this is about at all. This is only about if you're going to be producing content anyway, if you're going to be committed to this particular topic anyway, then why not create a body of work that every single year you have, and maybe you take a quarter off, right? Maybe you take 60 days off. Maybe you have a quarter of just 60 days of just preparing for what the next, 3 quarters are going to be, or whatever. But this is an excellent way to create content. If you're already creating content, this is an excellent way to write a book using the content that you're already going to create, using the content you're already doing research on. You're already looking at videos on this topic. You're already developing your thought leadership in this topic. You're already listening to podcasts. You're already reading books on this topic. And you just think about this. If you read a book per week over that 60 days, it's 8 books that you're reading on your particular topic of interest. If you do it the whole year, it's 52 books. And then you're just dividing it up into, maybe a special topic or subtopic. And then you're writing a book on each one of these subtopics. Whatever it is, you can create a lot of content if you just think about your content in 60-day increments. Maybe you have a big something that you're promoting, a program, a coaching program. You can still write books on this particular topic and get people into your program by writing a book, putting it on Amazon. And then as you put them into your program, maybe it's you live with them. Maybe it's a recorded course. Maybe it's Mastermind on the topic. Maybe it's actually implementing the stuff that's in the book. But I want you to think about content different. I want you to think about writing a book differently. How you can create a bunch of content, a bunch of books over, let's just say, for example, over 24 months. Let's say you committed to this for 24 months. And in 24 months, you have, if you do it every 60 days, you'll have 12 books, right? Most of us can really change our lives with 12 books that are selling on a regular basis, especially if we're putting them into a program, $5,000 program, $10,000 program. If you are doing it per quarter, it's 8 books. Let's say if you write a book per quarter and it's fiction, maybe it's 8 books in 2 years, 24 months. It's just a different way to look at content. It's a great way for us all to create content, create some assets that we can use to do other things, memberships, masterminds, courses, programs, whatever it is. It's a different way to look at content. It's a great way to look at content, especially if you're doing some of these things already. You can put forth some, minimal effort to actually do it. And that's what I'm going to be doing from now on is I'm going to divide it into 60 days, and that's what I'm going to be writing, a book every 60 days. And so I've done this before. I didn't have this formula. I wasn't doing it this way, but I know this is a great way to do it, and it's less stressful because I'm focused all of that time, that 60 days on that particular topic. So something to be thinking about. I think it's a great way to, if you want to increase your income, like the long game, right? But you're becoming even more of an expert in this particular area. Maybe it's a big topic and then you're dividing it into, 8 books or 12 books or whatever it is. But just think about this differently. Prepare yourself where every single day you're writing, you have these 12 chapters and whatever your topic is, you're reading about, you're listening to, maybe you're putting your thoughts in every single day about that particular, topic that you're reading about, a subtopic. But a great way to create a bunch of assets that will, hopefully outlive you. Something to be thinking about to create more assets for yourself, to create more books for yourself, to create more income for yourself, to leave a legacy for yourself. And I love the example of Jim Rohn, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy. The only person that's deceased is Jim Rohn, but they have all of these assets that they've created, a great way to increase your income.